Hi, my name is Timothy Ray from Group 8 of this Psych Final project. My group members are Pam Bauer, Caitlin Conway, Abby Corey, Dalton Little, and Alan Patton. One of the focus topics of our group was self-concept. We define self-concept as an individual's beliefs of his or herself. We proposed 2 different questions that we use in our interviews to better understand the self-concept of our participants. In our video, we focused on one of these 2 questions particularly, and the question is, are you happy with how you spend your day-to-day life, or do you wish that you were doing something different? Our purpose in asking this question was to identify if our participants' answers were similar in any way to the psychosocial crises that occur in different stages of Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development.
Question number 1, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Sabrina, and I'm 8-year-old, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Hey, my name is Lieutenant Don Robinson. I'm an investigator for the Richland County Sheriff's Department.
Well, I'm a 14, almost 15-year-old male.
Hey, I'm Misty Rivers. I'm 31.
My name is Rhonda Coulson. I'm 71 years old.
My birthday is on Monday. I've been to Europe, so that's cool. And I like learning new things, writing. I spend my pastime watching YouTube. I just like learning new things, really.
I'm an early interventionist. I work one-on-one with children with disabilities and special needs.
I became a widow in February after 50 years of marriage. I took care of my husband with Alzheimer's for about 5 years. I worked for 40 years in the communication industry. I've been retired 11 years now. I have 1 wonderful daughter and 3 wonderful grandchildren.
Been employed at the Richland County Sheriff's Department for 26 years. I am 50 years old, just turned 50 a couple weeks ago. I grew up in the South. I grew up in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Went to Orangeburg Wilkinson High School, then went to the University of South Carolina for my undergraduate. I am currently on my 2nd marriage. I was married shortly after I was a new deputy and was married for 13 years and was divorced for about close to 5 years and found my new bride, of which I married her in May of this year. So I'm back to being a newlywed again. That's where my life is right now.
Favorite color?
Blue and green.
What about your favorite animal?
Dog.
All right.
Well, I like to consider myself young, even though I'm 50. I like to have a young attitude.
I believe I'm still young.
I'm young, like right now.
By numbers, I'm old, I'm 71, but in my heart, in my mind, I still feel young.
Young.
And what do you think about growing older?
Good.
It's good? What's good about growing older?
I got to have a locker.
Yeah? What's bad about growing older?
School's harder.
That's true.
Know a lot more, and you can help so many other people if like you try to gather as much knowledge as like you can, to where if you are doing that throughout your like life and like you grow older, you are going to be so much more wiser and like can share much more.
The bad thing is your whole body changes.
Okay.
And the good thing is that you get to experience a life that God wants you to live.
I want to try to stay young as much as I can, but still you appreciate age. Age also comes with distinction, experience, judgment. All those things are good traits as you age. I'm not afraid to be old. I'm proud to be old, but I'm also proud to be older and have good health.
Are you happy with how you spend your day-to-day life?
Yes.
Why?
Because I got a nice set of friends across the street, and I like this house.
Okay. Do you wish you were doing anything different?
Painting rocks.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be doing something different later. I'm going to be tired of it later, but like not right now.
So are you happy?
Yeah,
Okay. That's
I'm
good.
very happy.
That's good.
I'm pretty happy. I work a lot. Do wish sometimes I had extra free time and more hours in the day to have that social time and me time.
Well, at times I'm very happy with my day-to-day life. career-wise, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I think I've done fairly well, and I think I've accomplished most of my goals here. Could do better, could do more, but I'm happy and I'm satisfied currently. My day-to-day activities, I still have more things I like to do, so I'm not completely satisfied. And so day-to-day wise, I'm fairly happy. I mean, we all have bad days and days of frustration, but those are a lot fewer than what they used to be.
I'm a happy, content person. I don't have an exciting life in other people's eyes, maybe, but I like yard work. I like Hallmark movies. I walk. I'm a content person.
Sabrina, at age 8, is in Erickson's fourth stage, which is industry versus inferiority. Sabrina was not experiencing inferiority, as she stated that she was happy with her day-to-day life. She has good friends and she likes her house. A child who faces inferiority feels inadequate. But Sabrina has a sense of pride in her ability to make and keep friends, and she is prideful and content about her nice house. She does not feel inferior to others, as a person who is facing inferiority does not develop a positive self-concept. A child facing inferiority may not have a lot of friends, and they may not feel good about their home. Sabrina is content and she is in the stage of industry. She is competent in who she is at home and at school, and her self-concept is developing quite nicely. Sammy, at age 14, is in Erickson's fifth stage of development, identity versus role confusion. This stage is seen as the barrier between childhood and adulthood, known as adolescence. It is a search for a sense of self and self-identity. Sammy is figuring out what kind of man he wants to be, and being a Boy Scout, he is showing that he cares about learning how to be the best man possible. He is happy with the way he lives in his life now, but he has a lot of things on his bucket list of dreams. He looks forward to writing, making music, singing, and generally doing things that make him happy. Also, he is aware of the many possibilities in his future. What is good to see is his positivity when thinking about the future. Ms. Rivers, who is age 31, belongs to Erickson's sixth stage, which is intimacy versus isolation. Stage 6 is described as having major conflict between forming intimate, loving relationships and avoiding intimacy. Fearing commitment in relationships can lead to isolation, loneliness, and sometimes depression. Ms. Rivers claims her life is happy and she is content, but she still feels the need to have more of a social life and more social interactions. This gives us evidence that she is still in stage 6 because she is looking for more relationships, or at least more social encounters, but still struggling through isolating herself with work and other larger responsibilities at home. For Lieutenant Robinson, who is of age 50, we find Erickson's psychosocial development conflict of generativity versus stagnation. He at times showed some conflict in each of the two categories, but he expressed a lot of generativity, for he just got married, is working to help people in society, and is very content with where he is. However, some of the stagnation is seen in the sense of knowing there could be more in life for him. However, the generativity he expresses comes from him accepting this and working with what he has instead of lingering on the things that cannot be accomplished or done over. This would only lead to anxiety and a state of unrest. To conclude the final interview, the answer of Mrs. Cawthon, who is age 71, confirms she is experiencing one aspect of the psychosocial crises described by Erik Erikson during this stage of individuals 65 and older. The interviewee's answer reflected a state of ego integrity, whereas others in this stage may face despair due to believing they have lived an unsuccessful life. Mrs. Cawthon mentioned in the interview that her life may not be exciting in the eyes of others, but she was happy and content. Her answer results from knowing she had a successful career for 40 years, along with the fulfillment of her role as a wife by caring for her husband during his battle of Alzheimer's. She also views her daughter and 3 grandchildren as other life accomplishments. Our interviews provided information that we expected based off of Erickson's theory. The participants' ideas of self-concept differed depending on which age category they belonged to. For each age category, we were able to identify a relationship between the individual's answers and the psychosocial crises described by Erikson.